Hey women! So I'm really excited to be doing this for you to help you set your goals and set your intentions for 2026. So this is for my athletes on one-to-one, and then I've also made it available to anyone who wants to really put the time and effort into planning their 2026 so that they can get the most out of it. And I know this is something maybe at this time of year, it's like, oh gosh, we'll think about 2026 whenever it comes. And something that I find that has made a big difference is I have done my goal setting and my planning for 2026 already, and it just makes me know that I'm going into January with a full plan and structure of how I'm going to achieve my goals as well. So not only is it like setting the intentions, but it's also helping to create an action plan as well going forward. So I've created this document, as you can see, so the 2026 vision and goal setting blueprint for Play Strong Girls. So your roadmap to confident and unstoppable performance. So this is more tailored to athletes, but you know, if you are someone who just wants to set yourself up, and if there's other things or other hobbies that are important to you, you can swap the questions around as well. I'm going to be kind of going through it here, telling you my thoughts and also how the document works and how you're going to use it afterwards. This episode is designed so that you can listen, pause when you need to, and actually do the work and then come back. So I'm not expecting you to smash this out in one sitting. I've had like 3 or 4 days delving into it to come up with my full plan. This is going to take you over an hour if you do it properly, and I really, really want you to do it properly. So here's what I'd recommend. Grab a cup of tea, find somewhere quiet where you're not distracted, and have the document open in front of you, whether it's printed out or on your laptop, or have a pen ready. The link to the Google Drive document, I want you to create a copy. So that is your copy then, and you can do with it what you like. You can edit on there or print it. So here's a wee tip that's going to help you massively. Set a timer for each question. I'd say 1 to 2 minutes per question. Some questions you'll fly through, others you'll need the full 2 minutes. But the timer stops you from overthinking and just keeping moving, because usually your first instinct is the right one with this kind of stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. So you're going to open the document already, and section 1 is actually a 2025 reflection. I know some of you might be thinking, Maeve, why, like, I just want to focus on 2026 here, why are we looking backwards? But here's the thing, you can't know where you're going without knowing like where you've been. As cheesy as that sounds, like the lessons from 2025, the wins, the shit moments, like all of that is data, and we're going to use that to build into 2026. When I did my own reflection this year, it was the most useful thing I ever did, because I realized like how far I've come, but also what things I have like let slip for myself personally. I let my own athleticism drop, which I'm really not happy about, and I've created the plan for 2026 now to ensure that I'm probably going to be the strongest and fittest that I've ever been. And as much as like acknowledging that was really hard, I think it's really, really important to know where you've either fallen down, but also give you the credit where it's due of what kind of year you had. So please don't skip this section, don't rush it. This is where the gold is. As you can see, I'm scrolling down the laptop too. Question 1, what did 2025 represent for you as an athlete? So question 1 is asking for a single powerful statement that captures your 2025 athletic journey. One statement, not a paragraph, not a list, just one line. This might be something like 2025 was the year I rebuilt from rock bottom, or 2025 was the year I finally trusted my body again, or 2025 was the year I lost myself and I had to find my way back. Whatever it is, make it honest. This isn't going on Instagram, this is just for you. Okay, so pause now, set the timer, go for 1 minute, write your statement, and come back when you're done. Question 2, biggest wins of the year. So I want you to think about beyond sport here. Yes, include the pitch wins, like if you're feeling really strong, really fast, incredible. Hitting PBs, like maybe it was getting through a match like just without fear creeping in, and maybe it was having a difficult conversation with a coach. All of these things are really important, and it's really important to highlight them, whether it's in work as well. That's really important to acknowledge. And I want you to write like 3 to 5 wins. And if you're struggling to think of any, that's usually a sign you're being really hard on yourself. So dig deeper. The wins are most definitely there. Once again, pause now, set the timer, 2 minutes. Okay, question 3. This one may sting a little bit. So what challenged you most this year, and what did those moments teach you about yourself as an athlete? So what did your hard moments teach you? Maybe you learned that you can't do it alone. Maybe you learned that rest is just as important as work. And maybe you learned that you need to listen to your body, but then also maybe you learned that you can push your body more than you thought, which is something that I love to hear my athletes say. Write down 2 or 3 lessons and be honest. Okay, start your timer again. Question 4, the unexpected moments. So question 4 is about the surprises, both good and bad. What happened this year that you didn't see coming? Maybe you got injured when you thought you were flying it. Maybe you got selected for something that you didn't expect. Maybe your relationship changed. Maybe an opportunity came out of nowhere, opportunity in work. Everything there is really important. So these expected moments often tell us about like how adaptable and like resilient we are as well, and what we actually care about. Pause now. Okay, question 5. This is one of my favorites because this is where we identify what we need to keep doing. So like what habits, routines, decisions, or like support systems drove your progress this year. Maybe it was working with a coach like me. Maybe it was prioritizing sleep. Maybe it was tracking your confidence. Maybe it was a group training environment. Maybe it was finally following a proper program instead of your random Instagram workouts. Write down 3 to 4 things that worked, and these are your non-negotiables now for 2026. Pause now. So question 6 then, we're flipping it. What didn't work? What are the things you wouldn't repeat? So this might be training approaches that let you feeling burnt out, like going to the gym set 5-7 days a week. Mindset patterns like comparing yourself to others. Habits like staying up too late, scrolling your phone. Relationships that drained you. Like be ruthless here. If it didn't work, name it so you don't repeat it. Pause now. Question 7, biggest personal growth moments. Question 7 is about your mindset shifts and confidence breakthroughs. Where did you show up differently? Maybe there was a moment that you normally would have quit but you didn't. Maybe you had a conversation you'd been avoiding for months, or maybe you started believing that you could come back from an injury. Maybe you stopped apologizing for being really ambitious. These growth moments really matter. They're evidence that you're evolving. Pause now, set the timer. Question 8, how did you change as an athlete and a competitor? Where did you evolve, mature, step into a stronger version of yourself as an athlete? This might be how you handle pressure differently now, how you prepare for matches, how you respond to setbacks, and how you work with team or coaches. Pause now. Question 9, key performance markers and progress. So question 9 is about the data, the actual numbers and markers that show your progress. So any of my athletes, go through your MTA app, have a little look, see what kind of your PBs and stuff were. Plenty of you have them. And even like your running conditioning, your Broncos, like any of those, pop them in if you feel like they're a win. But these could be training numbers like your squat or bench, how many minutes average you're playing per game, confidence scale out of 10 is an easy one, injury recovery milestones, body composition changes, whatever metrics matter for you and your sport. If you haven't been tracking though, that's completely okay. Like write what you can remember, and maybe tracking is something to prioritize in 2026. Start now. Okay, question 10. This is us like closing the door. What did 2025 teach you? This is your final insight or commitment that you're carrying into 2026. One statement that closes the door completely on 2025 and opens the door for what's next. Okay, well done for getting through the reflection side of it. I know it's kind of hard, but it also should feel nice to look back on the year and see where athletically you are and where you were. And looking backwards honestly does take courage. So now we're into the exciting part, the 2026 vision section. So this is where we dream big, get specific, and start building the picture of who you're becoming. I want you to approach this section with complete ambition. Don't play small. Don't write what you think is realistic. Write what you actually want, and we'll figure out the how later. Question 11. What is 2026 going to be for you as one word? One word that represents what you want 2026 to feel like. Not what you want to achieve, how you want it to feel. Maybe it's unstoppable. Maybe it's confident. Maybe it's free. Maybe it's dominant. Maybe it's joyful. And this word becomes your anchor for the year. Like when a decision comes up, ask yourself, does this align with my word? So my word for 2026 is fierce. I am going to go into training being fierce. I'm going to go into the business being fierce. I am not playing scared or small anymore, and that's why I use the word fierce. So what is yours? One word. Pause now. Question 12. What is your North Star goal for your sport? The goal that everything else aligns to. And it needs to be specific, like get better at rugby, get fitter, like more like start every league game for my club, or get selected for provincial trials, or it's make it back on the pitch. That is perfect. Like what is one thing that if you achieve this in 2026, it would be a success for your sport? Pause now. Okay, so question 13. What are your performance and confidence targets? This might include like match minutes you want to play, selection goals, confidence levels in like specific situations like contact or high pressure moments, physical benchmarks like speed or strength targets. Like be specific. Feel more confident isn't really a target. Feel 8 out of 10 confident in tackle situations by March, like that's a target. Or I want to hit a 60 kilo bench press for 3. Or I want to be able to single line out lift people. No problem. Question 14. How do you want to be known as a teammate or competitor? And this is about reputation and character. So how do you want coaches, teammates and opponents to see you? Maybe you want to be known as someone who never gives up, someone who lifts the energy of the room, someone like your opponents dread facing, and someone maybe that younger players look up to. Write 2 or 3 things here. Pause. Question 15, what specific areas of your physical preparation need attention this year? So this might be weakness that you need to address, a strength you want to build on, a skill that's holding you back from reaching the next level. Be honest where your gaps are here. If it's that you need to be better at stepping, could you spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes before training working on your stepping? If it's tackling, could you and one of your friends spend 10 minutes just doing some tracking and 1v1 tackles? Could that be something? So being honest about where your gaps are is really important. So pause now. Question 16, how does your training, recovery and daily life need to run so that there is no chaos? This is the boring stuff that makes the exciting stuff actually possible. So the morning routines, your sleep schedule, your meal prep, your recovery protocols, your training consistency, what systems do you need? And if there's anything that I haven't covered yet and you'd like me to cover, this is what I'm here for. I want you all to succeed. If there is anything that you feel you need that you are lacking on, I want to be the person to create the resource to help you. Pause now. Question 17, who and what do you need around you to reach your goals? So this might be coaches, physios, training partner, program support, mental performance help, nutrition guidance. Maybe it's better equipment. Maybe it's the training environment that challenges you. Okay, pause now. Question 18, how do you want to show up for your team, your sport and yourself? Even if you're not the captain, you can still be a leader. How do you want to influence the culture around you? Pause now. Question 19, who are you becoming? Not just as an athlete, but as a person. What traits, habits, the standards you want to embody. Maybe it's discipline, maybe it's kindness, maybe it's resilience, maybe it's authenticity. Pause. Question 20, your physical, mental and emotional goals beyond sport. So this is your overall well-being, your sleep quality, your stress management, your energy levels, your mental health. How do you want to feel day to day? Pause now. Question 21, your support network, friendships, home life and the spaces you train and live in. What do you want your relationships to look like? What kind of environment do you want to be in? Pause now. Question 22, your life outside sport. And this one is so important because I learned the hard way that you can't just be an athlete. You need to have your life outside of your sport. Travel, hobbies, joy, creativity, what fills your cup outside training and matches? Pause now. Question 23, your studies, work, skills outside of sport, building your identity beyond being an athlete. What are you working towards professionally or educationally? This matters because the sport doesn't last forever and having something else gives you the security and perspective. And I know so many of you already have your jobs that you're working really hard towards, but is there something specific in that you really, really want to attain? This is where you put it in. Pause now. Question 24, how do you want to think, feel, respond and operate in 2026, especially under pressure? This might be staying calm in big moments, responding to setbacks differently, and managing your inner critic is a huge one. Or being more present. Pause now. Okay, this is a big one, the 2026 declaration. This is the big one, your powerful I am statement that anchors your entire vision for the year. Start with I am, make it bold, make it something that when you read it makes you sit up straighter. Examples, I am an unstoppable athlete who trusts her body completely. I am a leader that inspires through action. I am someone who does what she says she's gonna do. Write yours. Pause now. Okay, section 3, 2026 goal setting. So we've done the reflection, we've built the vision. Now we're going to get into the actual goals. So these specific measurable targets that will make the vision real, and this is where dreams become plans. Question 26, sport-specific performance goals. So concrete targets for your sport selection matches, position-specific, specific skills, team contributions. These need to be specific enough so that you'll know if you've achieved them or not. Pause now. Question 27, strength, speed, power, conditioning markers that you're working towards. Give me numbers, trap bar deadlift targets, speed times, bronco times, whatever matters for you. Pause now. Question 28, specific situations where you want to feel more confident, mental skills you want to develop, not vague, specific, feel more confident in the first scrum of every match. Be more confident is not, it's a bit vague. Pause now. Question 29, recovery and injury prevention goals. So if you're returning from an injury, what are your specific milestones? If you're healthy, how are you going to stay that way? This is about being proactive, not reactive. Pause now. Question 30, health and well-being goals. Sleep, nutrition, stress management, and the daily practices that support your performance. Maybe it's 8 hours sleep minimum. Maybe it's hitting your protein targets. Maybe it's taking your creatine more religiously. Maybe it's a weekly therapy session. Whatever supports you. Pause now. Question 31, relationship and support network goals. The rituals, the communication habits, the intentional moments that will strengthen your closest relationships. Sport can be completely all-consuming. How are you going to make sure that your relationships don't suffer? Pause now. Question 32, fun, play, and adventure goals. The experiences, the challenges, the adventures that bring excitement and joy outside of your sport. What are you going to do for fun? What experiences do you want to have? Pause now. Question 33, life quality and environmental goals. So improvements in your daily environment, living situation, or lifestyle that will support your goals. So maybe it's finding a better gym. Maybe it's creating a nice recovery space at home. Maybe it's buying a nice alarm clock so you actually don't mind getting up in the morning. Maybe it's buying a really nice water bottle that you love to drink out of. Pause now. Question 34, focus areas and distractions. So the core priorities you'll commit to and the distractions you'll eliminate to stay aligned with your vision. So what are you saying yes to? And as equally important, what are you saying no to? So maybe it's just saying yes to more opportunities with friends. Question 35, key competitions, events, and experiences. So matches, tournaments, camps, whatever you're working towards in 2026, map out the big moments on your calendar. Pause now. So milestone reward system, this is so important, like how you're going to reward yourself when you hit important achievements. This is about like reinforcing the progress and celebrating your wins, like not waiting until you've achieved everything, but celebrating along the way. Maybe after you hit a training milestone, you'll book a massage for yourself. Maybe after selection, you go for a nice dinner. Maybe not just before the game, but maybe after. Whatever motivates you. Pause now. 2026 timeline and strategy. So this is where we take all your goals and actually put them on a timeline. Question 37, map out your season. When does pre-season start? Where are your key matches? When are selection dates, like championship periods, off-season, all of that. Get the skeleton of your year down. Pause now. Question 38, planned rest and recovery periods. This is crucial. Schedule your breaks and deload weeks. I help you with that before anything else. So recovery isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. So block it in, like even just knowing if you've got a down week of matches, know that maybe that's a weekend you could head away with your friends or go see your family. Having those blocked in gives you the foresight to see these recovery times there and also allow you to push yourself maybe harder in those weeks if you know what's coming up. Pause now. Question 39, fun and life events to lock in. So like birthdays, holidays, like weddings, trips. Life has to happen alongside sport instead of spite of it. So pause now. Okay, question 40, really important. When will you step back and assess your progress against these goals? So quarterly check-in dates I think are so important. So I'd suggest setting 4 dates now, one at the end of each quarter. Put them in your calendar as like non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Take yourself for a nice coffee where you will go and relook at these goals and go, are you working towards them? Pause now. Question 41, training phase priorities. So what are your focus in each phase? I help you with that obviously if you're working one-to-one with me, but like what are your pre-season priorities, your in-season priorities, your off-season priorities? Each phase should have a clear focus. Whenever you're working with a coach, we discuss that, but if you're not, you might need to have those thoughts in your head. Pause now. Section 5, interventions before preventions, and this is about being completely honest with yourself of like what's going to get in the way, because something will, and if we can anticipate it, we can plan for it. That's why I ask any of my athletes what is going to come up that you could potentially struggle with that I know I can help you with. So question 42, what do you know already is going to stop you? So be honest, like what obstacles, habits, or patterns will try to derail you? Maybe it's comparing yourself to others. Maybe it's saying yes to too many things. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it is scrolling on your phone. Maybe it's procrastination. Like name it. Pause now. And then what might potentially stop you? So less obvious threats, so like injury risk, life changes, mental barriers, external pressures. What could come out of nowhere and knock you off course? Pause now. Question 44, how can you prepare with interventions and contingencies? So what's your plan B? What support systems will you put in place for every obstacle you've named? What's the solution if it happens? Pause now. Question 45, this is huge. Why are you going to make it all happen? What is your why? What drives you when it gets hard? This needs to be something that makes you feel something, like not just, I want to be good at rugby. Why does it matter to you? What's at stake? When I was rehabbing my ACL during COVID, like with barely any equipment, my why was proven to myself and all those around me that I'm going to come back stronger, fitter and faster, and I'm really thankful that I did, because that was my why and my vision that I went back to every single time I didn't want to train. So make sure you find your why. Pause now. Question 46 is a bit of a big one, and it's one of my favorite exercises. So write a letter to yourself that you'll read in January 2027. Like, what do you want to tell yourself? What will you have achieved? How will it feel? Those feelings are so important. Like, write it as if it's already happened. You did it. You started every match. You trusted your body and you became the athlete you knew you always could be. Like, this letter is powerful. It's future you celebrating present you for like taking action, which is huge. So pause now, take your time with this one. I really, really want you to pay attention. So I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes, and I don't want you to stop writing for 5 minutes. If your hand comes off the page, you gotta keep going. Pause now. Okay, last question, question 47. Well done for getting this far. Accountability makes all of this real. Who will hold you to this? Maybe you could either send it to a coach, your partner, your close friend, a family member, and if you really want to, you can put this in the Play Strong Girl group chat, okay? And that will be there for us to all hold you accountable for your goals, because we're all here behind you. So pause now and pop it in whenever you're done. Okay, so if you've made it this far and you have actually done the work, I am so proud of you. Most people talk about goal setting but never actually sit down to do it properly. You just did. So what you've created isn't just a document, it's a roadmap. It's a commitment to yourself. It's evidence that you are serious about 2026. So here's what I want you to do. 1, put your quarterly check-in dates in your calendar right now. Read your declaration every morning for the next week and let it sink in. Share this document with your accountability people so it's made real. And 4, take one action this week that is going to align you to that North Star goal. And I also want you to write down that one word that you want 2026 to be everywhere, somewhere that you can see it every day. And most importantly, I want you to come back to this document when you're struggling, when you've forgotten your why, when it feels too hard, and read your letter to your future self. I think you've everything that you need to make 2026 your year. Now it's about showing up day after day and building the evidence. Now go build it. I'll see you next week on the Play Strong Girl podcast.